suspensions and counter suspensions taking place today in the PDP. What do you make of it? And most especially, these three people that were suspended before, that's the legal advisor, the secretary, and the deputy legal advisor. Why were those three particular people suspended due to the court order?
Well, it's quite unfortunate that People's Democratic Party is now embroiled in what is called MAD. They are now MAD. Apologies for that choice of word, but it's an acronym for Mutually Assured Destruction. The different factions are just helping to serve as undertaker for whatever is left of PDP. Just last week, Nyesom Wike referred to PDP as being dead, that the party is dead, and that the funeral rites is about to be conducted, and that's exactly what's happening. In fact, I wonder why a court, Abuja Federal Court, even sacked the Zamfara lawmaker that defected on the ground that it should not. Because this section 68 subsection 1G of the Constitution is very clear on what ground you can defect. And the situation in PDP is mature for any notable and any serious politicians to have a retrospection about continuing to be member of that party. Now, you ask a question, why was the National Legal Advisor and a couple of other people, why were they suspended, including the National Secretary and the National Organizing Secretary? Recall that about 2 weeks ago, Chiamaka, there was an altercation in court between the National Chairman and the National Legal Advisor. And that exhibited shows that there is no cohesion and discipline within the National Working Committee of PDP. It's so unfortunate. This is a party that governed Nigeria for 16 uninterrupted years. This is a party that is supposed to offer alternate platform for Nigerians to vote. This is a party that was promising heaven and earth that they were going to dislodge the incumbent president from power. How did they intend to do that? In fact, as of 2 days ago, we learned the governor of Taraba State is also on his way out of the party, and deservedly so. So it's a problem of ego, problem of inability to reconcile.
Okay.
I don't know whether you are aware, Chiamaka, that there was a senator, former president of the Senate, Bukola Saraki, was heading a reconciliation committee of PDP.
Yeah,
it was inaugurated maybe sometime last year or early this year.
Yeah.
I wonder what he's doing to bring all these warring factions together. But the way they are going about, I think it is true that PDP is on its way to Golgotha if it's not already there. Okay. Because what I see is an ego problem, inability to reason, to do the right thing. From what I learned, about 14 states have no state working committee or are in crisis. Out of 36, you have almost half that are in crisis. And you want to press on to have a national convention in the next 2 weeks. How feasible is that? Those who are going to be delegates to that convention are to come out as the state working committee are supposed to be members of the delegates that will go and vote for the national working committee members in the next 2 weeks. So if 14 out of your states are having issues, why don't you backtrack, try to reconcile, do the needful? The court has said, follow due process. But the Electoral Act has prescribed how you are supposed to do your congresses and convention. They are supposed to be ward, local government, and state congresses before you can talk about national convention.
Yes,
Why don't
we
you make sure
understand
that all
the
the
things
state
needed.
congresses have been done and due process duly followed? But this whole I suspend you for 1 month and then if you tackle me, I will double you. Where will it lead the party?
All right, Mr. Ojo, I can see that you have quite a lot to say about that, but we need to continue with the news and this conversation. You've mentioned about the party not being able to pull its weight, an opposition party. But beyond PDP, what does this actually portend for opposition politics in the country if the supposed major opposition party can't seem to have its ground and stand its ground?
That is the disappointment, Chiamaka. That's the disappointment Nigerians are having. That Nigeria is already a de facto one-party state. There was initial pretense that we are two-party state. Okay, you can talk about APC, PDP, and others. But tell me, where are the opposition parties to APC today? Labour Party is having its own issue. There are two factions, the Nenadi Usman's faction, and then the Julius Abure faction in APC. The ADC that claimed to be a major coalition some months back, some of the juggernauts, some of the chieftains of that ADC has not even formalized their registration of the party. I was shocked to discover that Alhaji Atiku Abubakar has not gone to register in his gather ward to formalize his membership of ADC. Peter Obi has not gone to his ward in Anambra to formalize his member of ADC. But they are all claiming to be chieftains of ADC. So there is a lot of confusion, a lot of chicanery and treachery going on in the fold of the opposition. And that's why I agree, and I said months back that Nigeria is already a de facto one-party state. Because the PDP that everybody was looking up to, after all, when you go by the number of elected representatives in the National Assembly, even among the states, PDP used to have 12 state governors in its fold after 2023 election. It has a sizable number of senators and House of Reps members. Today, it's hemorrhaging on daily basis. Just last Thursday, 6 of his members defected from APC, from PDP to Labour to APC. Just last Thursday. So what we are saying invariably is that the opposition elements in Nigeria have greatly disappointed the voting Nigerian public because it has left us with no choice but to go the way of APC, despite the macroeconomic economic policies that is sorting the Nigerian public, despite Nigeria looking forward to having an alternative to APC in future elections.
Let's take our last two questions in one, Mr. Ojo, so that because we need to go to other parts of the news. Now, let's get to the last questions. You've mentioned about the PDP. Now, do you think, is there any visibility, any possibility that the party will pick up ahead of 2027? And, of course, what's the take-home for every other party from this crisis in the major opposition party?
Sincerely speaking, Chiamaka, nothing is impossible and politics is a game of interest. If the elders of the party, the conscience of the party, the board of the party, they have a board of trustees that is led by former president of the Senate, what is his name, that is from Abia State. I've forgotten his name now. They have him. If he can summon the warring factions and speak peace to them and let them reconcile genuinely, they can still salvage the situation. Yes, Anambra election is bygone and forgone for them, but there are 2 obstacle governorship election coming up in Ondo, coming up in Ekiti and Osun next year ahead of 2027. So if they are able to still put their house in order, I'm sure at some point in the nearest future, the way there is an exodus into APC, a time will come where there will be an implosion in APC itself, and people, even chieftains of APC now, may be looking for alternate platform to go and join. So
Okay.
the situation is not an hopeless situation in my own estimation.
Okay.
It can still be redeemed, but the leaders of the party needs to come and speak truth to the different factions, try and reconcile them so that they can forge ahead. It's not cast in stone that their convention must hold as scheduled on the 15th and 16th of this month. They can defy it by 1 month. In the course of that time, let them do the needful. All the state chapters that are in crisis, let them go and resolve those crises. Let them have their congresses. All the zonal congresses that are supposed to be held, let them be held. Let there be an harmonized position within the party so that by the time they come to convention, whoever emerges victorious at the convention will preside over a harmonious house. A house that is divided against itself cannot stand. Right now,
thank you so much.
despite the court's injunction,
Thank you
yes,
so much,
Damagum has
Mr. Ojo. Thank you so much. Thank you so
all
much
of yesterday. Let them go to
for your insights on the conversation happenings in the PDP.